Hiya, it's Met from Let's Have It Met TV. Welcome to today's video. So I put a post out on our Facebook group, the Omoda 5 and E5 UK owners group, asking do the other members want me to do a video of having the car after 4 months, what I think, and quite a few people had asked me to do it, so I thought I would do a video. So we brought our Omoda in the start of September, up in Scotland. We live in London, but our daughter lives up in Scotland, and we both went down there. Both fell in love with the car. My daughter brought one as well. So we both have identical Noble in black with the charcoal black colour alloys, whatever colour you think they are. So yeah, so we've had it for coming up to 4 months. I had an MGHS exclusive. Mine was one of the original OGs, so I had the original style alloys, and a lot of people that were on the MG group said that they thought that the first builds pre-COVID were the best ones. We never had a problem with it, had it 4.5 years, loved it. So obviously we was very skeptical about looking at a new model, a car that's never been in the UK. But after doing a bit of research, I looked it up, found out that Omoda is owned by the Cherry Group, who have been around since 1999, so they've been around for quite a while. They've been in Australia for quite a while, doing well over there, and they've got the Omoda 5 in Australia, obviously the Jayco as well, which is due to come out as well. So yeah, we've done a bit of research on it, and then also found out that the Cherry Group have a partnership with Land Rover Jaguar as well in China, which allows the Cherry Group to sell Land Rovers and Jaguars over in China. So that also gave me a bit of confidence, as they're quite reputable companies, car manufacturers. I know, some people out there would say, oh yeah, Land Rover and Jaguars have problems with cars. I think every car does. My daughter traded in an Audi Q2, and I think she got sucked into the whole name. She went for the brand Audi, and after a couple of months she hated the car. But because the car was worth quite a bit, she kind of got stuck a bit. Cut a long story short, after I think she had it for about 1.5 years, as I said, I was ready to trade my MGHS in. We went and looked at the new HS, but we didn't like it. We felt the MG or SAEC group, whoever makes the decisions on the new designs, cut a lot of the features from the original HS. The skyline, ambient lighting, the seats. I didn't feel the seats were as nice. The interior, it just didn't feel as a nicer car than what the original HS was, what I call the OG, the first original one. So we was disappointed with that, as I said. Yep. So we looked around, and then I came across this Omoda 5. I can't even remember how I found it. I don't know if it was an advert on Facebook, but like, as you probably know, when you search stuff on the internet, like, as I say, you're searching new cars. So I was just searching SUVs, and then I think it was an advert on Facebook. So I was like, oh, that looks a really smart car. So I looked into it. As I say, I've done my research. So we was up there for my birthday in September. So we went along, both fell in love with it. As I say, yeah, we've both brought one. So that's a bit of a sort of a backstory of how we brought the car. As I say, I was a bit skeptical trading in the MG because it done us no wrong. And so what I can say about the Omoda is I think it's a fabulous car. I think the quality of the build is better. Definitely drives smoother. It's more comfortable. I mean, I've never had an automatic, so I'm then trying to compare a manual to an automatic. But I love it. I don't think I'd go back to a manual now. It's a lovely car to drive. And yes, like as I said, every car has its little niggles, little problems. I think one of the main ones is the DAB radio. So a lot of people seem to be having a problem with the DAB radio, signal dropping, and so we picked that up and contacted the dealer, and we was back up there at Christmas. So we took, both me and my daughter both took our cars in. They done a check on it. A fault code came up, so apparently they do a check. If a fault code comes up, that apparently they put an amplifier in. So I just want to clear something up on that. So a lot of people are getting confused. I don't know if I can swing the camera around. So on the screen, if you can see it, there's this little L thing here. Hopefully you can see, because I can't see what I'm pointing at. Now, a lot of people are saying that that is something to do with the aerial. It's not. This little L shape here, it's nothing to do with your signal, nothing to do with your aerial. What I've been told is that is there for you to position a dash cam, but when they made the right hand drives, they forgot to put that on the other side. So your dash cam would actually be on the other side, so it's not in your view while you're driving. You know, unless you've got quite a small dash cam, you wouldn't want it up there. So that's the first point I wanted to clear up. Sorry, just wiping the screen there. That little L thing is not anything to do with your DAB radio, amplifier, signal, or anything. Your aerial's your aerial. It's the fin on the back of the car. But apparently, as I said, they've done a check. Ours come up with a fault code, so we had an amplifier put in. Now, depending on where you live, your signal is gonna be different. Now, we live central London, and we never had a problem with a DAB radio. Ours was perfect. But when we drove up to Scotland, yes, we hit black spots, and there were certain areas where we lost signal. And then they put this amplifier in. When we drove home after New Year, the signal was better. Still had some black spots. We had that in our MG. We had that in our Qashqai. We had it in the Ateca. We had an Audi as well. We had a Skoda S VRS. You know, the DAB radio, you ain't going to pick up the signal everywhere. But I believe some people are saying that compared to other cars that they've had where they live, the signal has dropped. So it is a minor issue. But again, if you've got an iPhone or Android, download the radio app, Spotify, whatever you can play. I've got the radio app, I've got Rayo, so I normally play my DAB radio through that anyway, because I have my iPhone, connected to the CarPlay. And that's one of the first features that I really like on the Omoda 5, is the wireless CarPlay. Now, again, some people have had a couple of little problems where the CarPlay won't connect. Now, when you go into settings, if your phone is, if you've connected your phone, you've paired it. Now, when you bring up the screen, if your phone don't connect, go to settings, go to Bluetooth, you'll have your name there, and then you have 3 signals. You'll have the little triangle, which is your CarPlay one. So when CarPlay's on, the other 2 will be greyed out. Then you've got, I think it's phone and media. So again, if your car's connected to CarPlay, them 2 will be greyed out. If CarPlay's not connected, the other 2 will be blue, and your CarPlay want to be grey. All you got to do is just press and hold the CarPlay one, and it should reconnect. Like anything, I've had, we've got a Bluetooth radio in work that's connected to some speakers, and sometimes we have to restart. We got a very old iPhone. We have to restart the iPhone sometimes because it doesn't connect by Bluetooth. So technology, I do believe the connection is more to do with our phones rather than the actual system. I do believe that, because I had the same thing with other cars. The Bluetooth just drops off and you're like, why has that dropped off? Another one with the CarPlay, if your screen goes black, again, I think it is our phone again. But all you got to do is the little round dial, your volume button, which is there next to your steering wheel. Press and hold that for 10 seconds and it will reboot your system and your phone will reconnect. You don't need to turn the car off or anything, just press and hold it and then you should reconnect to Bluetooth. So that's one of my favourite features about the car, is having the wireless Bluetooth. I think it's a fabulous feature. Other features that I like is obviously the voice control. When you're driving along and you just, if you don't want to use your buttons, you can tell it to open the windows, or if you haven't got DAB radio on, you can tell it to turn DAB on. You can tell it to turn the temperature to 21, 20, whatever what number. So if you I think the lowest is 15 I've worked out, and the highest is 31 I believe. So you can just go, hello Omoda, turn the temperature to 21, and it turns, rather than having to take your eyes off and use the buttons on the touch buttons underneath, just talk to it and tell it to do it. One of the other features that my daughter likes, because she's up in Scotland, is the auto start. So obviously living up in Scotland, it's very cold. So it's the bottom button on your control, on your remote control. Press and hold that for a few seconds. It will start the car, and what it should do is remember your heating settings from when you last got out the car. So my daughter always, before she locks the car, she will set it to top temperature and full blowers, and she said it hasn't not worked. So on a cold morning up in Scotland, she just bangs it on, and I believe the car will do that for 10 minutes. So if you haven't got in your car within 10 minutes, it will then turn off. But it will keep your car locked so no one can get in it. And then when you get in, if I remember rightly, you just put your foot on the brake, and then that turns the whole system on. Other features is obviously, you know, we had the Skyline in the MGHS, so when they took that away, we was quite disappointed with it. We like having the sunroof open in the summer. So obviously, the only thing is that's not electric compared to the OG HS, but you know, when you actually open it, it will push that back on its own. You just have to manually shut it. Obviously the ambient lighting we like, and just the whole style of the car. I feel it's better quality. Looks really nice. I love the rose gold trim. The only thing, it looks lovely when it's all nice and clean, is obviously your touch buttons for the heating underneath the information screen gets fingerprints on. That would be my only gripe, but you know, I've always got a microfiber cloth in the glove box, and I wipe it down every time. Another thing that people have mentioned on the group is, and I have no idea why this does this, if your music's playing and you put your visor down and then the little flap for the light like that, it cuts the music off. If anyone can let me know why, there's probably some bizarre safety feature. I can't work it out. I'm completely confused by that. Why the music would need to go off while you pull the visor down. It may well just be a fault. Is it a major issue? No. You know, little things you can learn to live with. Like I said, with the DAB radio, we have the DAB radio on when we're driving up to Scotland. If we get little black spots, say the car's connected to CarPlay, I bang the app on and listen to the radio through the app. It doesn't cost hardly anything to have your maps on, listen to radio through CarPlay. It will not use a lot of data, I can promise you that now. What will use data is, but you shouldn't be doing that, is if you're playing a video through your phone. Obviously streaming a video or any type of streaming is gonna use up data, but using the DAB radio through an app shouldn't use a lot of data. As I say, we've drove up to Scotland and I've had it on for hours and not even noticed my data being used any more than what it would be. So just go and download the one I've got is called the radio app, I think. So when you go into App Store, it's a little red and white symbol with an R in the middle. Just type radio, DAB radio or radio app, and you should be able to find it. And I think that's about it, really. Yeah, it's like 4 months down the line. I love the car. I absolutely, if someone was to offer me to swap back, I wouldn't. I think this is a better quality car, better build, better drive. Yeah, I'm really pleased. Really pleased. We were gonna initially hold out for the JQ. We wasn't sure whether this would be big enough. Like HS And then when you look at the measurements, it's only a few centimetres longer, a few centimetres higher, and a couple of centimetres wider. The only thing is the boot on this is smaller. So, but we haven't had a problem at all with shopping. We've always had enough room to do our shopping. The only time I think we're gonna notice a difference is when we go on holiday and we have to drive to the airport putting the cases in. But there's always only ever 3 of us, so we can put one of the seats down, and then, you know, we can work out the luggage side of things. But yeah, no, I'm really happy, really glad we brought it. And for anyone who has any doubts about buying a Chinese car, whether it's an Omoda or an MG, don't. You won't be disappointed. What you get for your money is unbelievable. The tech on these cars are second to none. They're unreal. As I say, yeah, you know, the tech on this, you know, let's talk a little bit more about that then. So someone in work's got a Tesla, and they said the system on the main screen when you're driving, where it picks up the cars in front, the graphics in the, I've never been in a Tesla, I don't know, said, oh, that's like a Tesla. Whether it is, I don't know. But as I say, all the tech on it is spot on, brilliant. The only one my wife doesn't like is I think it's the intelligent cruise control, where I think you press the steering wheel button on your left side. We just use the normal cruise control. We just, as we're driving along, just set the normal one. We don't use the intelligent one. Both of us are not that keen on it, because it does sort of, it really pulls the steering wheel and wants to keep you dead centre in the lane. So we just use your normal adaptive cruise control. Anything else? I'm just trying to make sure I've covered everything. No, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, pop them down below in the comments, and then check out the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And then once you've subscribed, go into the playlist. If you click on playlists, we have dedicated playlists for each car that we've reviewed, the MG, and then we've got one for the Omoda, and then obviously we got other stuff on there that we do as well. So you can just click on the playlist, click on Omoda 5, and then you can just watch just Omoda related videos. And then, or, you know, if you've clicked on this and then you want to go and check out all the MG, if you're interested in the MG videos, click on the MG playlist. But I'm positive in saying, if you go and test drive one of these, you'll be very surprised. You will love it, as we did. And as I say, me and my daughter have both got one, and we've had many cars. My wife was a salesperson, so she has many company cars, and as I say, we've had Atecas, Skoda VRSs, Audis, Qashqais, trying to think of other cars, the Renault SUV, I can't, my mind's gone blank. Megane, you know, we've had all of them, and what you get for your money, you can't beat it. The MG and the Omoda will beat it for tech, hands down. So yeah, please, as I say, check out the channel, subscribe, like, share the videos if you haven't done that already. Much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.